everyone. How are you? Happy Tuesday night live chat. How are you? Hey, so if this is your first time catching one of my live chats, first time being on Tuesday night live chat, let me introduce myself. My name is Monica J. I'm an early childhood development specialist and a child behavior specialist. And here on Instagram and all over social media, I love helping parents guide their children during emotional upset, challenging times when it comes to child behavior. And all of this using mindful strategies. Mindful strategies. So good evening. Hey, Mrs. Shauna. Hola. How are you? Buenas noches. Thank you for joining me. I'm so appreciative to have you here. I truly appreciate your support. And hello, Ray. Ray Giselle's mom. How are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining. So I know it takes a little while for some people to hop on. So while they're hopping on, we could just do a little chit chat, just a little chit chat before we get into the topic. But tonight's topic is change. How we can change our approach to our children's behavior. And not only bad behavior, just changing our approach in general when things aren't working out. How can we change our approach, and what are some of the benefits of that? How do we do that? What does that look like? So that's what the topic is tonight. But again, thank you all for joining. Whether you're joining live or joining on the replay, I appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedules because I know you guys get really busy. Hey, All About Play. How are you, Tasha? Erica, how are you? Thank you all for being here. I know you guys have super busy schedules, so I always appreciate your time. I appreciate you joining the conversation. If you have any questions, any feedback during the live chat, get in on this conversation. Let me know how you feel. If you have questions, type it down below, right down there in the comment section where it says comment. You comment, okay? That is there for you, and also share this out while you're live here. You can share it out to your audience, to your followers, anyone you think would benefit from the topic tonight, which is change. How we can change our approach to our children's behavior, and what are some of the benefits? So if you think someone that you know can benefit from that, share the love, share this live chat. And thank you in advance for doing that. All right, so let's get into it. I mean, this is a big topic. I think we've been talking about change for a while. I know I've been talking about change here on Instagram over the last couple weeks because I've had a lot of change going on in my life. And change in general is inevitable in life. Things in our lives change every single day. And things in the lives of our children change every day. And for children, sometimes the change is not actually they don't voluntarily do it. Actually, sometimes the change is forced, or they just naturally have to follow what's going on because they have to change schools, or maybe they changing activities that they do after school, or they're moving. So there's a lot of life changes that happen in the lives of children that they don't necessarily ask for, and they just have to go with the program because, they are dependent on us as the adults in their lives. So they're dependent on us to guide them. They're depending as parents, for you guys, they are depending on you to feed them, clothe them, teach them, all of those things. So change is inevitable, but there just so happens to be change that for some reason as adults, we like to hold on to and we don't want to change. There are things we don't want to change that actually we probably should be looking at and thinking about maybe how can I change my approach in order to get the response I'm looking for. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. I can only speak to my experience, but I know sometimes as an educator, I can be in the classroom and I want to hold strong to the lesson plan that I planned out thoroughly, that I typed up, that I had in my head, that I knew, I visualized it, I knew how it was going to go. Sometimes I want to hold on to that. And even though the kids are not responding the way they probably should be or the way I wanted them to, I still hold on to it because I just refuse to change, and sometimes I have to step back and ask myself, what is that about? Why am I refusing to change my approach? Why am I refusing to tweak or adjust my lesson plan to fit the needs of the child when they're not benefiting from it, right? And a lot of it is personal, I'm sure. Hey, Ann, how are you? Busy bee parent, how are you? Same. Erica says same, right? It's like, I know it is personal. And sometimes it comes from that, you know what? I worked on this all night. I cut out the little shapes. I cut out the numbers, the letters, whatever it is, right? I cut all these things out. I put it all together. I typed this up. I knew exactly what it was supposed to look like. It's not happening, but for whatever reason, I refuse to change. What is that about, right? Sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what is that about? Why won't we change? Why are we stuck in our ways of doing things, right? Why are we stuck? Maybe, for example, because we do often talk about negative child behavior here. So if a child is just totally not responding to you, not listening to your request, you ask them every single day around the same time, you're asking them, take off your shoes, take off your I don't know, your outdoor clothes, your school clothes, change, go bathe, whatever it is that you're asking them to do the same time every day over and over, and they're still not doing it. You're yelling at the top of your lungs. You're just like, 45 minutes later, you turn around and they still didn't do it. And it's like, seriously? Right? But have you ever thought about, how did I approach my child? How did I give the instruction, the direction, whatever it was? What did I do that is not getting the response I need? How can I change my approach to get the response that I actually am looking for? Sometimes we have to change. Sometimes we have to change. And it's not always easy to disrupt whatever pattern we have going on, or it's not always easy to actually acknowledge that what we've planned or what we've done is not working. That's not easy. As a teacher, it's not easy. I can admit that. I'm sure as a mom, it's probably not easy, and sometimes we have to look at ourselves and we have to acknowledge that, hey, this approach is just not working. It's not working. So in that case, it's all right to change. It's all right to budge a little. It's all right to adjust and tweak things a little bit so that we can actually get the response we're looking for. Because if we keep holding on to what's not working, then we are going to keep getting the same response we were getting before. So we're going to keep getting the lack of urgency for whatever it is you're asking them to do. We're going to keep getting the the cluelessness when they're just like, what are you talking about? And they're just not getting it. We're going to keep getting the same responses we've been getting, even when we don't want that. Even when we're looking for a positive response, we're not going to get it if we don't start to budge or adjust or tweak what we're doing. And this, I'm only referring to things that have not been working. Things that you've done, maybe you've said to children in your lives, maybe, it's something that has to do with their chores at home, their routines at home, their schedule at home or in school or whatever, and you're just not getting the response from them that you're looking for. Well, then today is the day we are going to talk about change. Change can be good. It can be good. There are a lot of benefits when it comes to child behavior and changing our approach to the behavior. There are a lot of benefits. And so today I want to share 3 things that you can do just to start thinking about that change. And we're just taking it easy. We're taking it slow. And one thing to always remember when you are here on this platform and during our live chats, there's no judgment here. There is absolutely no judgment. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. Although I love sharing information, sharing my experiences, sharing strategies, I'm still not perfect. I am learning every day. I'm working on myself every day. And every day I'm trying to work to be a better teacher, to be a better aunt, a friend, so on and so forth, right? And always working to make sure I am really changing and having a positive impact on the lives of the children that I work with and that I teach, or the children that are just in my life, excuse me. So yeah, I'm not perfect, but it's okay. And I realize I've learned to forgive myself. I've realized I'm not perfect, and I realize it's okay to adjust and change. It's okay to acknowledge what's not working and change it. And actually, it has some really good benefits, okay? Thank you, Mrs. Shauna, for those hearts. Thank you. Well, honestly, I mean, if you've been following my stories, I think you should. If you haven't, follow them, okay? Sometimes I'm funny. But last week I started this new workout plan, getting up at 5:30 a.m., going to the track and jogging. I want to say running, but it's truly not a run. I'm not even going to fool you here. It is a light jog. Jogging, doing a mile. Maybe sometimes I could do more than a mile, but definitely every morning doing a mile. That's only Monday through Friday. I do it with my husband. Whether we're talking or not talking, we still get up and we do it, okay? Because yesterday we did it and we weren't even talking, but we got through it. And that's what I mean. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Things happen. But this is something, I mean, I'm only on the 7th day. Today was the 7th day, but it's hard. It's change. It's something I know that's going to benefit me, my life in the long run, health-wise. But it's not easy. It's not easy to change, right? It's not easy to disrupt my pattern of just sleeping in, getting up at the very last minute, hopping in the shower, trying to get to work, running last minute like always, you know? It's not easy to change that pattern. I know it's going to benefit me, and it is benefiting me, because now I'm not rushing every morning anymore. I actually have time to drink my tea, eat breakfast, and then go, you know? But I had to disrupt old habits, old patterns, and that's hard. It's not easy. And so I just say all of that, and I share that just to remind you that no matter what we're talking about, of course, we always usually talk about children here, child behavior, but it's just to show you and let you see that we're not perfect, and we're taking it one day at a time, one step at a time, one change at a time. Every little bit counts. Every little step we take towards the change, towards the positive, it counts. It all counts. And we are here and on this platform, in this community, to support one another, I support you in whatever journey you are on, especially when it comes to your children and what you're trying to teach them and the values you're trying to set and the foundation you're trying to, really, really set for them so that they can be successful in life and in school. I am here to support that. So no judgment. Take it one day at a time. Now, let's get into the nitty gritty. Now, this is like another challenge. Now, right now we have the No More Yelling Challenge going on. And if you don't know about it, that's okay. I'll tell you a little more about it at the end. But in case you hop off early, you could always go to the link in my profile and click on No More Yelling Challenge, and you can learn all about it. However, this is a little challenge I'm going to give you when it comes to changing your approach to something you see is not working. Okay, so if you're talking about the same things over and over, you find yourself doing the same thing over and over, and you're not getting the response you want from your children, well, it's time to just look at what you're doing and maybe tweak that a little bit. So the first thing you're going to do, there's 3 steps. The first thing you're going to do is, first you're going to identify that one thing you want to change. Because you can't change everything in one day. You just can't. We can't tackle all the problems. Because there's always issues, there's always challenges, right? And we can't tackle them all at once. So I'm waving back at you guys. I see a lot of hands waving. Thank you, everyone. Briff Leet, 230 Love Country. Thanks. I see those waves. Thank you, waving back at you. Now, the first thing is to identify the one thing you want to work on, okay? So you're not tackling all the things, not all the things, picking one thing. So if that one thing is, I want to work on bedtime, I want to work on my child actually listening to my directions when I tell them, go upstairs or go into your room, whatever it is, go take a shower, go take a bath, whatever it is that you're talking about during bedtime. Maybe that's something you want to work on because you feel every night you're drained, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're tired of yelling, shouting, you're just tired of repeating yourself, and you're ready to see some change, right? You're ready to get the response you're looking for. All right, so that's one thing. You're going to tweak one little thing. Oh, the bedtime. Yeah, All About Play says, oh yeah, bedtime, right? Oh, that bedtime. I know. I've heard all kinds of bedtime stories, the drama during bedtime. Because for whatever reason, kids never want to go to sleep. They just never want to go to sleep. I feel like maybe they just think, they're missing something, right? What is that saying? People say, oh, fear of missing out. It's like FOMO. They really think they're going to miss something. Kids have FOMO bad. They have it bad. So they think they're going to miss something, so they do not want to go to sleep. So if you're working on bedtime, all right, that's one little thing. Take one little thing from the bedtime routine that you want to work on. Okay, so that's the first thing. You're just identifying one thing you want to work on, one thing that you feel is not working right now, however you're approaching it, whatever directions you're given, you feel it's not working, you're not getting those responses you want, so you're going to work on that one thing. You choose it. This is your challenge, okay? You choose it. So you choose that one thing, and then you want to ask yourself, okay, is this working? Is what I'm doing every night or every day or every morning, is it working? Be honest with yourself. Be completely honest with yourself. It is okay. Just be honest with yourself. Is it really working? Is it really working? And if maybe something or portion of it is working, well, what portion is working? What is working? Or maybe one day it worked marvelous and everything was great, and then the rest of the time, the 90% of the time, it's never working, right? So what happened that one day that it was marvelous? What happened that day that worked? Was it something you said, something you did? What was so different about that one day, right? So you're asking yourself, is it working? Is there any part of what I'm doing that's working? Maybe it's the directions, the way you're giving the directions. Are you giving concise, clear directions? Are you in your child's face, down on their level? Maybe your child is a child that needs to repeat it back to you. You give the direction, maybe they need to repeat it back to you. Okay? So it's like a give and repeat. Maybe they need that. Everyone doesn't need that. But if your child is for some reason is not hearing you and they are not, actually doing what you're asking them to do and responding, well, then maybe they need to repeat it back. So you need to be down on their level, in their face, meaning direct eye contact. I don't mean that you're in their face like this. No, I just mean, when I say in their face, I mean you're giving them that direct eye contact. They're not over here drawing something while you're telling them, okay, I need you to go wash your face and brush your teeth, and they're here drawing or building or doing something totally different. So therefore, they're not 100% focused on you or what you're saying. So that's why I want you to get that eye contact. I need you to be down on their level, eye contact, eye level. And so you know that they're focused on you, focused on what you're saying. And if they need it, have them repeat it back to you, and then you watch them leave to go start whatever it is you're asking them to do. Maybe that is something you have to do for your child, depending on what you're talking about or what you decide you want to change or, work on. So the first step, identifying what it is that you want to change, what it is that you want to tweak because you feel it's just not working, you're not getting any response, or you're not getting the response you're looking for from your child. And so once you figured out what that is, we mentioned bedtime before. Once you figured out what that is, then you want to ask yourself, is it working? Has my approach been working? What I've been doing, has that been working? Okay, that was number 2. Hey, Karen, Swim Surge. She gives me a thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, you know about the FOMO, right, 30 Mommy? She said one of mine definitely needs the call and response. Yes, sometimes they need that call and response. You said it. Call and response. Let them repeat it back. Maybe they need to repeat it back twice, but you need to make sure they heard you. And then maybe you have to watch them actually leave to go do it. And you may, in the first few times, if you're asking a child to do something specific and you have a child who just is not doing it, you turn your back and they're totally off doing something else. Even after you were eye contact, eye level, and you told them and they repeated it, and you still turn your back and they go do something else, well then that's another tweak. Then you realize now, okay, the first few times I'm going to have to follow them and watch over them as they do it so that they start to take it more serious, right? So all of these little things, you're like looking at what's working, what's not working, what can I tweak, how can I tweak it based on the needs of your child. And I know when you have more than one child that this seems impossible. You're just like, it's almost like mine. You're like, you may not even be hearing me because you're just like, I have to do this twice over, 3 times over, 4 times over. Well, the one thing I feel sometimes society fails to tell us is that raising kids is hard, and I give all the applause to moms, dads too, but moms, I give you all the standing ovations, applause, 10 times over. I mean, I can't even tell you how much, or how important your job is. And you guys do act like you guys are kind of like superwomen. I'm sorry. I mean, I know we are not superwomen. We are not magical. We do not have powers. We cannot just poof and make things happen. But sometimes you find yourself in that place, in that role where you feel like I'm doing so much. But you can do this. You can do this. Remember what we said, one day at a time, one step at a time. Learn to forgive yourself, take it all in, and understand that it's okay. I'm not perfect, and I am giving myself a chance to change, to tweak, to adjust, just so that we can see the benefits of it, so that we can get the response we're looking for. It takes time. It takes time. So the third step is, All About Play says, Tasha says, I'm going to start with bedtime for sure because that's what will get my sanity back. And we want you to get your sanity back, seriously. Okay, you need to keep your sanity for sure. Definitely, please keep your sanity. Please, please, please. And the third step, guys, is, now that you figured all of those things out, I kind of already said the third step, but basically the third step is to change it. Change it, try your new approach, whatever that is going to be. So we kind of said for the child who needs who needs to repeat things back to you, that by changing it, you might have to actually walk them through it. You might have to look over them, watch over them while they're doing it, just so that they can take it serious, so that they realize you are serious and that this is something they need to do right away, and they need to do it when you tell them, and they need to follow through. They need to understand how to follow through, how to accept the direction or whatever it is, a request, how to follow through, how to complete it, and then move on to the next step. They need to learn those steps. And these are tools that we as the adults in their lives have to give them. Because if they don't have the tools, let me tell you, they're not magically going to appear. They are just not going to magically appear. They're not, okay? They are not. So if you see and you find that your child is not using the tools that you think they should be using, they are not responding the way you think they should be responding at their age or whatever it is, then you need to give them those tools. They don't have it. They're lacking something. They need to, pick up on some new skills, and they need some new tools in their toolkit, and that is okay, because we are all learning. The same way they're learning every day, we're still learning every day, right? You're learning how to adjust to their behavior. And so if they don't have the tools they need, you have to give it to them, because those tools will not magically appear unless someone teaches it to them. Whether it's us as the educators, I say us because I'm an educator, so whether it's the educators in their lives, whether it's mom or dad, whoever it is, if someone is not teaching them those skills, the skills they need, and giving them those tools, well, then they're not, where they're going to get it. Where are they going to get it from? Someone has to teach it to them. Now, maybe they watch movies, TV a lot. Maybe someone on TV is teaching it to them. But someone has to teach it to them. So if you see that your child is lacking something, lacking in an area, then you definitely have to give them those skills. You have to teach them. Mrs. Shauna says we have to stay consistent with them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when we're teaching them a new skill, giving them new tools that you want them to use and follow through with. You want to be consistent. So if you're making your change, you're adapting your approach to their behavior or to whatever's happening in your home, right? So some of you talked about bedtime. If you're adapting your approach to bedtime, well, then you need to be consistent with this new approach, consistent with it. And you need to be consistent for a period of time so that they start to realize, oh, there's a change happening. Oh, things are happening a little different around here. Oh, okay, I have to actually respond. Oh, mommy wants me to do this now. Oh, and the first day, they may be a little resistant. The second day, maybe, still a little resistant, maybe a little better. But it takes time. The same way it takes time for us to change, it takes time for them to change, to learn a new skill, to adapt to a new tool and actually use it in life, right? So give them time. Have patience with them. Have patience with yourself. But be consistent, just like Mrs. Shauna said. Be consistent. So important. One of my favorite lines is consistency is key. It really is. Consistency is key. It really is. It really is, especially when it comes to change. Hey, Leah, how are you? Thanks for joining. How are you? So for anyone who just joined and you missed anything, you could definitely, catch the replay. After this is over, it will be available for 24 hours. And so you can definitely go back and catch the replay. But tonight was all about change. And if you guys have anything you want to share, any questions you want to ask regarding changing your approach to your child's behavior, let me know. Go ahead and type in the comment section. I appreciate all of the feedback that some of you have already given. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, change is not easy. It is not easy. I actually, I'll share a little story with you. It's a quick story, actually. Because I was working with a student today. Love her so much. She's so sweet. Working with a student today, and I haven't seen her for a while, right? She hasn't seen me for several weeks, and we're starting to working together again, new sessions. And she was excited to see me, like, hey, you're like, hey girl, okay. Like, she was excited to see me. She's only 3, but she was excited to see me, definitely. But after that first 2-3 minutes, she was like, okay, back to doing what I was doing. You can go now. Like, you can totally go. And I'm working with her at home. So, when you're working with a child at home and they're in their own environment, it's so interesting to see because they have their own way of doing things. They have their own way of playing. They have their own way of doing things. Their routines at home are totally different from their routines at school. And so she really had to get used to seeing me in her environment, her comfortable home environment, right? That was new for her. That was new for her. So I came in and I had my plan, right? I had my plan because I have to plan anyway, right? I had my lessons, I had my plan. I knew what goals I was working on, came in with my stuff, my toys, my fun, right? And she was just totally like not having it. She could care less about what I had going on. And so for the first 20 minutes, she was just like wanted to play with her own things. And so guess what, guys? Guess what? I had to adapt and change my whole lesson, my whole plan to fit the needs of my student. Why? Because I had to have empathy for the fact that she was in her own environment. She didn't ask me to come here. She didn't ask me to come to her home. Her parents asked me to come, right? She didn't invite me over. This is change happening to this 3-year-old that she did not voluntarily ask for. Again, remember, we said change sometimes is inevitable. Children deal with change constantly throughout their young lives because we're often changing things for them that they didn't even ask for. So I needed to have empathy for her and understand that, you know what, this is all new to her. Whether she knows me or not, this is all new. I'm in her environment, I'm in her home, and I need to see how she operates here first. She needs to get comfortable with me being there first. And then I can try to, move in and, introduce her to some of the things I want to do with her just to work on some goals. But I can't just come in strong and expect her to respond right away. I came in, she didn't respond to what I had going on. And so I had to back up and, take it easy and just kind of adapt. Clearly change. I had to change on the spot. And I couldn't be upset with myself. I couldn't be upset with her. I couldn't be upset with the situation because it made sense. It's natural. It makes sense. And it's okay. Now, if I would have approached it different and been like, no, you have to listen, and shouting and yelling at a child who's just like, what's going on? That would have been totally wrong on my part. But sometimes as humans that we all are, sometimes we do react that way. We do get upset. We do get frustrated because a child isn't listening. Sometimes that does happen. But when you can be conscious of it and when you can have empathy and really try to step back and look at what's happening, see if it's working, acknowledge to yourself, accept that it's not, and then make a change. Adapt. I had to do that today, this evening. I had to do that while working with a student in their home. I had to. Because I realized that is not my home, that is not my classroom, this is her home. I'm a guest in her home, and yes, I have a whole plan and I have a whole list of goals that I need to work on with her, but when she's ready, then things will work out. When she's ready and she trusts me again, and she feels comfortable with me in her space, then I can push in a different way. But for the beginning, for the first few days, it's okay for me to step back and just gradually work with her and play with her in her own space with her own toys and let her kind of lead. And adapt. And it's okay. That is okay. And it's the same thing with you and your children. It is okay sometimes to adapt and to change if something is not working. That's it. That's what I have for you guys today. Thank you for those hearts. Thank you so much. I really, truly appreciate it. So that is a little challenge for you guys. Pick something you want to work on, something you know is not working, acknowledge it's not working, and then make that change. And then jump in my DMs. Jump all in my DMs. Let me know how it's going. Let me know how it's going. If you were able to change even one little tiny thing, even if you were able to get your child to say, yes, mom, okay, I'm going to do it. And they went and took one step and they did something, one thing, even if they didn't complete the whole thing. If they changed one little thing and you saw one little positive reaction and response, then I need you to not only, pat yourself on the back. This is not my back, but pat yourself on the back and tell yourself, you know what? Good job. Good job. And I'm going to do a little more, and I'm going to try again tomorrow. And I'm going to change a little more and adapt a little more, and we're going to get this. We're going to get this, and I know my child can do it. Right? All right. How long? Oh, all about 30 Mommy says, can I use these tips with the hubby? Child. I'm going to just shake my head. No. Yes, you can. Let's be honest. Honestly, when it comes to change, you can use these tips in life in general, okay? You can use these tips in life in general, but yes, you can absolutely use it with the hubby. I have to use it with mine. Because sometimes you think, oh, are there any husbands on here? I hope not. Sometimes you think you're dealing with a child too, right? They're like your second, third, fourth child, depending on how many kids you had. They're a kid too. Sorry. And All About Play, Tasha says, how long would you say we stay the course before we change the approach? Well, I say you give it at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks. And let's say it's not 2 weeks straight. Maybe your routines at home, because I know you were talking about bedtime, Tasha. Maybe your routines at home on the weekend are a little different from Monday through Friday. So let's say Monday through Friday for 2 weeks, you try this new approach and you see what happens. And if you feel 2 weeks is too long, it's okay, because you'll just know. But if you feel 2 weeks is too long, I say the minimum should be at least a week. You want to give it a few days, because sometimes the first couple days it's difficult and they may not respond. And it also depends on the age of your child, and where they are developmentally. But I definitely would suggest 1 week straight. That's your minimum. And 2 weeks, I think, is a great time frame to see what's working, to actually look back and say, okay, I saw a little bit of change. I saw a little bit of a positive response from my child. And so, yeah, two good weeks is great. 1 week will do fine. Got a lot of laughs. Right? But the hubby thing, Cherie, 30 Bobby, you're funny. You are funny, but it's so true. But this is definitely a challenge for all of you. Definitely a little challenge for you. Have an amazing night too, Miss Shauna. Thank you. You're welcome. De nada. And All About Play. Okay, great. Let me know how it goes. And seriously, guys, jump in my DMs anytime you want, even if you just want to say, hey, it's fine. Or maybe you're having a tough day, a challenging time, and you want some support. Let me know. Just say, hey, I'm just having a really hard day. It's just, I don't know. The kids just really, I don't even know. I need some support. I'm here for you. Just jump in the DMs. Honestly, I'm here for you, because when I'm having a hard day, I will jump in the stories and let you guys know. So guys, for those of you who do not know about our challenge, the No More Yelling Challenge, it's a 5-day email video series, and it has to do with change, just like we talked about this evening. Just tweaking your approach to your child's behavior so you can decrease your stress and have more joyful days with your children. Take the challenge. 1 step at a time. Even if you start the challenge and you find yourself falling off, it's all right. You could jump back in, because you get to keep the emails forever. You just go back in your email as long as you don't delete them, and you can check out those videos anytime you want. Okay? Anytime you want. For more information on that, click the link in my bio, my profile here on Instagram. Click that link in my bio and you'll see No More Yelling Challenge. Tap it and join the challenge. Good night, 30 Mommy. Good night to all of you. Thank you for joining. Have an amazing Tuesday night. Bye. See you in stories tomorrow. Peace.